Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me is my co-host, Jill Jade. And Nick is going to be joining us soon. He's going to be a little bit delayed tonight. He has something going on. But tonight, I'm excited for this episode because once again, we are exploring the world of Nightmare on Elm Street, and we are covering the what could arguably be the best sequel of the franchise, and it's Nightmare on Elm Street 3: Dream Warriors.
Yep.
Yes.
This is probably a better one than we had last part 2. I think this one kicks butt better.
Oh yeah, Dream Warriors, it has so much going on for it. Because first off, Wes Craven returned to write it and produce it, along with several new other talented individuals such as Chuck Russell and Frank Darabont. Chuck Russell had directed this film as well, and we've already covered one of his works before with The Blob, which he had wrote and directed, and it had been released about a year after this film.
Oh, okay.
And and Frank Darabont also wrote The Blob as well before moving on to creating some of the best Stephen King film adaptations. Oh yeah, the Shawshank Redemption, Green Mile, The Mist. They've had some great people working on this film, no doubt.
Yeah, good list right there.
Yes. So this was released in 1987. They've been releasing Nightmare on Elm Street sequels almost every year, with the exception of the year 1986. They waited 2 years, but every year after that, they've had part 3, part 4, and part 5 each year. They kept that consistent. Oh yeah. So, when did you first see this film?
This is 87?
Yes.
You know what? I still feel like when a movie came out that year, I probably watched it that year, just because by then, after 5 years old, I was a horror fan, and so if it was on the shelf to rent back then at Blockbusters or some video store that we were renting from because we didn't have Netflix yet, then
Right.
I was there. I was grabbing that hot off the shelf. As long as it was available on the shelf, I probably watched it right away. So I'm guessing within the time frame of the time it came out is probably when I watched it, because Nightmare on Elm Street is probably one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, it's yeah, I was the exact same way as a kid. I was always wanting to go to Blockbuster and rent all the horror films, all of them. I even wanted to watch the R-rated ones. I wanted to watch but Nightmare on Elm Street I didn't get to see until I was a teenager. I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated horror films until I was 14, and that started happening after I tricked my parents into getting me the Alien quadrilogy, the Alien movies. And then they found out when I watched the first Alien movie, and my dad was like, "Wait, Don, the first Alien movie is rated R," and I'm like, "All of them are rated R."
Oh, he didn't even know it was rated R?
No.
Oh man.
Yeah, hold on. Somebody's asking me for the link to this video. Hang on one second. Hang on.
And then I'm not really good with the whole, I know in the beginning we usually do the shares and stuff, and I'm still pretty new at, I know I could probably share if is it from the things, then you share it to your page.
Oh yeah, yeah. 1 second here. I just gotta send something to somebody real quick.
I would say once I get used to the podcasting, you share it on things first, right? From things, you go to things, and then you hit share from there, the share button.
Yeah,
I think. Okay.
Yep. Oh, here, Jeremy's saying weird. I didn't get the notification that I was live. That's odd.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's because we started a little bit later. That's probably why, Jeremy.
Know.
And
I heard
and
people are having issues with notifications lately, and I didn't even get a beep. And normally, I think when you're subscribed to something that you follow a lot, like a top post on your feed,
Yes.
then you usually get notified. And I didn't even get it. So I'm not sure what that's about. You should get notified. And I didn't even
That's strange.
sorry about
What the?
that.
Oh, okay. Oh, that is odd.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know how to fix something like that, but we'll have to figure that part out as far as the
Oh, here.
notifications or if it's new.
No, the notification usually goes out about 30 seconds after you go live, even if you're late. I don't know, Jeremy. I've been doing everything the exact same way then
Mhm.
every single time. Like as far as notifications, the links, sending it out to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch and whatnot. But that's odd. Hmm.
I still really think it's from the face like for us with Facebook notifications. I have a feeling it has
Yeah,
something to do with anything that they change. They do things that are new, and then you think you have one thing down, and then they do something else completely different.
that's Facebook for you.
Yeah.
Hello, Sarah. Thank you,
Hi,
Sarah. Thank you for
Sarah.
joining. Yeah, she was requesting the YouTube link. I'm guessing she couldn't find us on the Facebook. Uh,
Oh, okay. I think you found us
let's
now,
see.
right, on Facebook?
Yep, Facebook has been getting bad lately. Yes, very much so. That's weird. I got the notification. It said it was like a reminder.
Huh.
This
Yeah,
is weird. But
it is.
yeah, I guess let's just keep going. So yeah, so Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, like I said, arguably the best sequel of the franchise, and it's had a lot of good things going for it. And but like first of all, it's focusing on not just one teen's effort to stop Freddy. It's like a whole group of them now. In this case, like a whole bunch of teens who lived on Elm Street who are being
Mhm.
who are confined to a psychiatric hospital because they been trying to stay awake or commit suicide because they kept having dreams about Freddy Krueger. He keeps on hunting them.
Yeah, and so it doesn't say right away, but eventually I think when Nancy jumps into the group sessions, then she starts to tell them like, "We're the last you're the last kids or we are the last kids from Elm Street, so that's why we're all getting these dreams." So it kind of ties that in. I think that if you don't know that part, like it's like who are these characters, and other than being in the hospital, it connects them for the dreams part, the nightmare part with Freddy, that they're the last of the Elm Street kids.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, Freddy's continuing his murderous revenge by killing the children of the lynch mob that killed him. And this has a great cast too. It's the return of Heather Langenkamp as Nancy
Mhm.
Thompson, who is now a psychology major who is interning at the Weston
Mhm.
Hills hospital, psychiatric hospital, where all these teens are at. And let's see, Patricia Arquette playing Kristen, and Patricia Arquette is David Arquette's sister, and
Yes, I
David
love her.
Arquette. Oh yes, and David Arquette also worked with Wes Craven playing Dewey in the Scream franchise.
Mhm. Scream.
Oh, oh yes, and huh, hang on, I'm not getting any comments from my YouTube. I'm hoping that this is notifications are up on YouTube.
You know what? I didn't even check to see if it was streaming on YouTube, and normally I'm on it at the same time watching.
Yeah, it should
So
be.
yeah, it should be.
Oh, here now we are.
Now you're
Hey,
getting
DJ.
notifications.
Yes.
Yay!
Hey, hey, DJ. Thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, like we've had some technical issues in the very beginning, but all should be okay for now. So
Yeah, I think we're
yeah,
good.
oh yeah, Nick is going to join us soon. He just say he's got delayed. He had something going on. So let's see.
Mhm.
Yes, Sarah, we are waiting on Nick. Let's see. Yeah, I got reminders. That's why it's puzzling. Hold on.
Mhm.
This is where they come up with some really cool kills. Yes, it is. Yeah, like some of the most memorable kills of the entire franchise are in this film. And
Yeah.
yeah, like us, yeah, with Freddy, like with the whole puppeteering one, that was, and also
Mm.
morphing out of a TV and killing Jennifer with it. That was like the most memorable kill out of that whole thing. Her big
I
break
think
in TV.
right? I think a lot of the scenes or kills were very iconic for a lot of us. I mean, there's a lot of other nightmares, but then it's like the ones that stick with you, a lot of it came from this one. I don't know if they just did a really good job with their casting or all of the above, just like the unique creative kill scenes. I mean, all put together, to me, they did a way more fantastic job than even 1 and 2.
Oh yes, and as uh, as Sarah is saying, that it had Lawrence Fishburne in it. Back then, she went by the name of Larry Fishburne, and
Larry.
this was about 12 years before he would like impress the world with his iconic performance as Morpheus in The Matrix.
Yep. Another good one that we could probably get into just because, of just the whole concept.
Oh yeah, and even that film, Matrix, focuses on the idea of their living in a dream world, so questioning reality. Like so,
Yeah.
it had some crazy things. Yeah, Matrix has some pretty crazy ideas in that as well. And welcome to prime time. Yeah, that became Freddy's most iconic line with that killing off Jennifer with her big break in TV. And I was also impressed with how they also got what was his name?
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. No, yeah, hit her, but also someone else. Dick Cavett, I think his name was.
Yes.
Yeah, he was one of those talk show hosts throughout the 70s and 80s. Yeah, here. Don't sketch your eye. Yeah, don't worry. No, these blades are not real, so it's all good. My eyes are good. No worries.
And I have a tendency to scratch my eye too, so I'd probably poke myself with that.
Okay. Hi, Doggy Pals. This is a new
Hi,
viewer.
Nick.
Hello, thank you for joining us. Nick Ulrich, hello, thank you for tuning in. Yeah, really excited about talking about this film. So yeah, like I've been saying, they had some of the most creative kills. Like the sleepwalking kill was one of the most disturbing of them all. Philip, when Freddy just like claws down, and then his tendons are like and Freddy's like using his tendons out of his arms and his legs to as puppet strings that make him move around. Oh. Yeah, because that's one of the ways that Freddy's been covering his tracks in this film. He's staging the attacks and kills as if they were suicides.
Right, because the character he's called the Walker because he sleepwalks at night. So they knew that that's something that he had a problem with. So for the people just around him, not what he can see, but from his perspective, but the others, like the nurses or staff or even just the other patients, all they see is him sleepwalking. So, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense of how he's being forced to be killed, though. He's being manipulated, like puppeted, That's a cool scene, though.
Oh, yeah. It is a great scene. Over here. The Matrix is my number one favorite action movie of all time. Yes, it's one of my favorites as well. I love The Matrix. I love Die Hard. Yeah, great stuff. And yeah, Lawrence Fishburne, got an early start with this film. He looked so young back then. It's like, wow. It was amazing seeing it. Because I saw The Matrix before seeing this film, and then I look at him and in that film in Nightmare 3, and I'm like, wait, that's him? I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't scratch my eye. Oh. And Nick Ulrich says, never wake a sleepwalker. Oh, yeah. Like, there's been stories about how you're not supposed to, wake up a sleepwalker because it would cause them to have, a heart attack or something.
Mm.
I think there's something like that. I actually did see a sleepwalker one time. He was, walking into the 7-Eleven and just, actually buying something.
Yeah, I think sleepwalking is in my family sometimes because I'm pretty sure me and my brother have done stuff like that. I had the night terrors, so I can't say that if you wake someone up while they're doing it, they'll have a heart attack because I'm pretty sure I got woken afterwards from my parents and I'm still going. But I think it depends on what's happening in the dream. Like if it's that surreal and you're in that mode of believing what's really happening in your dream, and then, physiologically your body is reacting to that, then I can see somehow that could happen. But if you're about to harm yourself, I think for most of us, if it looks like if that person's just eating and doing things that are normal things, then you could probably let them be and just kind of guide them back to their room, or you're sleepwalking, go back to sleep. But if it's not, if they look like they're going to harm themselves, I think a Step Brothers scene where they're both sleepwalking and they're doing all kinds
Oh
of
yeah. Oh yeah, I remember Step Brothers. Oh man,
yeah.
that was from way back in like 2008, 2009. Man,
Yeah. I always like
yeah.
that scene because it's like extreme, but it's like you'd be surprised what sleepwalkers do.
Oh yeah. Like back at that, I think back to that night at the 7-Eleven, like the clerk was just like not knowing what to do because the guy kept shambling around, bumping into things, and oh
Yeah,
man.
you're like, are you on drugs or what's going on here? Like what's
And,
happening?
and I said, okay, just I told the clerk like, let's just try to remain calm here. The guy's sleepwalking. Maybe we shouldn't wake him. Yeah. So, let's see,
I'd be more
1999.
afraid to I'd be more afraid to sleepwalk. Hi, Billy. In public, like on the street, because you're walking where there's cars and things, and so it makes you do wonder how many people actually just suffer from that, and they're just like kind of walking aimlessly on the street, and you're like, you're in the middle of the road, dude, but they could be sleepwalking.
Yeah. How did this guy? That's what I'm also been wondering. How did this guy manage to get there without being hit by a car?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
it.
I think we dodge people that we see randomly standing in the middle of the street for no reason.
Yeah, but still, it was nighttime though. Like this guy was
Yeah.
dressed in black. He could have been hit easily. Anyway, yeah, Nick Ulrich, 1999. Yes, that was a good year for Matrix and among other movies that came out that year. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I remember Star Wars Episode 1 being the one with the most hype.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I was 7 years old back then. Anyway, it's hard to think that he was Pee Wee Herman. He was in the Pee Wee Herman show. Oh, yeah. Let's see. That's a myth. Oh, they're referring to the idea of waking a sleepwalker causing a heart attack. Yeah, like yes, there are some people who still believe in that, but hey, why chance it? Why wake him up and chance it?
Mm-hmm.
Lol, yeah. Coffee beans. Oh, yeah, that's one way to keep yourself awake. Yeah, I think Nick Solberg is referring to that opening scene,
Yeah.
right after the title sequence when Kristen is making a paper mache out of 1428 Elm Street, where the first two films took place, because she keeps dreaming about that house because
Mm-hmm.
the dream version of that house is basically Freddy's killing grounds now, his lair, and in order to stay awake, she's drinking coffee. She's eating coffee beans and drinking Diet Coke. And I'm thinking that can't taste good.
Yeah, I don't know. She just didn't want to make a cup of coffee. It's instant grains, but it's like strong, really bitter, unless you put cream or sugar.
I mean, coffee's easier to make than ever now because I got a Keurig right over there in my kitchen.
Oh yeah, pop it in, leave it alone. Touch the button, boom, come back, your cup's ready.
Put it on, press the button, and I got coffee.
Yeah.
And let's see.
I want to answer Sarah. I have eaten chocolate in my sleep, I think, because one time I woke up and I was saying this, I think, on the show last week or the week before. I had chocolate wrappers. I woke up to chocolate wrappers all around me. And when I counted it, it was about a dozen little wrappers. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I have a problem with chocolate. And so I know I did that in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping, like I'm eating, I guess, because how else did that happen? And so now I try to put the chocolates farther away from my bed. I don't put it right on the bed.
Yeah. Oh man, sleep eating chocolate. Yeah, I mean me, I don't sleepwalk, so I mean, at least I'm pretty sure I don't.
I
But
guess if we found out if we did, it'd be like a paranormal activity. Like you'd have to set up a camera to really know if you are, because how would you know unless someone told you, right? Like how do you
yeah,
really know?
I mean, hey, I've got GoPros. I could actually do that.
There you go. I think you should test yourself.
Maybe I should, and if possible, maybe capture ghost footage. Yeah,
And you
never
might
know.
capture something. You might capture something moving your blanket off.
Hey, yeah, we can only imagine. Let's see. Nick said if we know more than 10 minutes later, we're now 21 minutes later. Yeah, I hear you. I saved a sleepwalker from getting hit on a crosswalk. Okay, well, hey, good on you, Nick. I'm glad you noticed that. And what?
It is a thing. It is a thing. I guess people do. They're walking out on the street. That's so scary.
Yeah, well, hey, glad you were the right place, right time to help that guy. So good on you, man. Oh, here. Lawrence Fishburne has been involved in 3 major movie franchises: A Nightmare on Elm Street, The Matrix, and John Wick. Yes, absolutely true. And
Mm,
I can't wait for John Wick Chapter 4. Can't wait to see
I
that
know.
among other things that are soon to come out. Like there's a confirmed sequel to Megan now coming out, and I want to wait until
Yep.
Nick signs in before we get into more detail about that. So, Nick, hurry up,
Yep.
man.
Yep. They've already approved for it since they think they're foreseeing that it's going to do really well after they've seen, I guess, their
Yeah,
pilot version.
yeah. It's not a good mix. Oh, you mean chocolate covered coffee beans? Yeah, can't say I've ever tried that. How would we
I don't think I've tried that.
just tie up a limb? Oh, okay. That's one way to test that. Waking up to a fridge open in the morning. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, not me personally, but like I said, maybe my family. That's happened. I know. Uh, I'm related to someone that does that. He sleep eats, and so he opens the fridge, and sometimes the fridge
Oh,
is still open.
oh man. Let's see. Waking up with the fridge. Okay. They would be like Paranormal Activity movies. Yes, they could very well be. Let's see. I have drones all over my house. Oh, nice. I'm thinking about getting a drone. I'm wondering,
Hmm.
what could I do with it? Yeah, like I guess I could go out, maybe get like a film get like test it like out. There's like a big forest preserve close by to me that I could test it on.
You
Just
could
have a
test it like
bird's eye view over all the trees and stuff. Probably good footage of deer or something. Let's
I don't
see.
know if you've seen if you watched the new CSI, they had a one where they have all these trend people like TikTokers in a house, and there's a murder that happens, but eventually they think it's a drone, and they just have to figure out who owned the drone. It's like this huge drone that possibly flew over and slashed him to death. So it's like my TV version of horror, because it's like death by drone. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, here. Megan is already streaming. Yes, I got confirmation about that earlier today. One of my subscribers, Angelo, way on the Philippines. You've talked to him before,
Yeah,
Jill. Yeah,
Angelo.
Angelo.
Hmm.
Yes, he already bought it and he's watching it. So yeah,
Yeah,
Nick
I
and I
got
saw Meg.
notification.
Yep, Nick
Go
and
ahead.
I saw Megan last Saturday. So we both loved it. Oh man, yeah. Like as soon as you and others see it, we're definitely covering it on this.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
saw that.
definitely.
I got the notification saying it started streaming today, so you can watch it from home. So I'm like, yes, score! It's
There
available
you go.
starting today.
Nice. Wasn't Fishburne also in one of the CSI and CIS series? Yes, I'm pretty. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
He's
he
done some
was.
TV. Yeah, he's done some TV. Have you had any weird experience being half asleep? I'm not sure if I did. I wouldn't remember. Um, Spoilers. No, not at this time. There's been 2 reasons why we were waiting on seeing Megan. First of all, we wanted to make sure that me, Nick, and Jill, and any host that wants to join us has already seen it, and also because I wanted to wait until enough people have seen it in theaters, so that way we're not spoiling it for the majority of the people.
Hmm.
So that's why. Yes, he was on CSI. Yes, very true.
Yep.
I saw someone drinking beer in the middle of the night on my feed. Oh, okay. And have cameras everywhere in the house. Yeah, I'm thinking about investing in more and more cameras, like ones that are. I think I do have one that's set up over there, but yeah. Let's see. I know the actor who plays Megan. The actress, because there's
Aw.
two different people that played Megan. One is a young actress, a little 11-year-old girl who does like dresses up, who
Mhm,
dressed in the costume. They have her wear a mask to make her look robotic, and then
mhm,
there's another voice actress who does the voice for Megan.
mhm. They had the
So
voice
I
actress, and then they had the actual physical actress with the mask
physical
on.
actress.
She is so cute. The real girl.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that movie actually really took me by surprise. It's much better than I expected it to be.
Mhm,
Because like I said before, January tends to be the month where Hollywood is just it's like a dumping ground for movies that Hollywood didn't really have much faith in. But now this is this is one of the highest grossing January release in a long time. So this movie has done well. But
I
yeah,
feel
let's
like
dive back into
it's like a live action Annabelle, so it should do well.
Yep. So yeah, let's dive back into Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So once again, like Nancy has is now working with in Weston Hills, trying to help these kids, but they're just dying one by one in the hands of Freddy Krueger, and they. And then Kristen has demonstrated this power to pull other people into their dreams. Like if someone's awake, if she wants that person in their dream, that person then falls asleep and goes into her dream.
Oh, I was wondering on that because I know she was calling Nancy when she was in the house and when she realized she's in the nightmare house. And I thought that was just something Nancy could do because she seemed to like she heard her or felt her. And then she was sitting in the chair and she like hypnotized herself, like did something to where she falls back into the chair like she fell asleep and falls into the nightmare house. So I thought that was just something Nancy could do. But you're saying now Kristen's ability is to pull people into the dreams.
Yes.
From the physical world.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then when Nancy realizes, oh man, it's all happening again. These more kids are being targeted by Freddy Krueger. She's determined to help these kids and put a stop to her old enemy once and for all. And so she's working with all these kids, and then and then she's also forming a strong bond with this doctor named Neil Gordon, who works at the who was working with these kids as well. And they form like they basically form a relationship together. And he's curious about Nancy because she's been taking this an experimental drug called Hypnosil, which stops you from dreaming, which would explain how she's been able to like keep Freddy out of her life for 6 years, because this takes place 6 years after the first movie and a year after the second.
I didn't research the drugs, but like, is there really a drug that prevents you from dreaming?
I'm not sure.
Or is that just a made up?
I think that was something they made up for this film, but they do experiment. I would like to believe they do experiment with drugs like that. I mean, they experiment with for just about all sorts of things. Oh, look who's in. Hey, Nick.
What's up, guys?
Hi.
Finally, you're on.
Nick.
I'm so sorry I'm late. It went a lot later than I expected. I was just finishing editing one of my longer stories that I recorded several days ago, and I finally got it done. So I was just like so intent on wanting to finish it off. But I got it though. It's right now converting.
All right, yay.
Yeah. So, but I'm here though. So again, I'm sorry I'm late.
No problem. Yeah. So, and just so you know, Tom may or may not be joining us. He says he might. He had something going on, but I wanted him on because this is his favorite film of the whole franchise. He loves Nightmare on Elm Street 3 better than the first one. So
I hope he can jump on for a few.
Are you talking about Tom Nelly or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pickle Tom.
Pickle Tom. Okay. Someone spray painted my shirt. No, it's not. That's actually the design of my sweater I'm wearing.
I was watching M. Night Shyamalan's The Village from 2004. I remember that one.
I have mixed feelings on that. We'll talk about it another time.
I was going to say, I do like the theme song of it.
I mean, it's not bad. Hey, not as bad as The Happening.
Yeah, that's true.
I like The Happening better.
I don't know. I just didn't like the twist on The Happening. It's like, you're just wondering what's causing all this, and they say, "Oh, it's the trees getting revenge on mankind," and I'm like,
"Yeah." And you're like, "What?"
And I'm like, "Really?"
In case you guys wanted to know about what the story I'm doing that I just finished, it's called Time's Harbinger.
Oh, nice.
And like I said, it's one of my longer recorded stories. It's 37 minutes long.
Oh.
Yeah, so there was a lot of editing work that needed to be done with this one. And no, it's not about trees getting revenge. It's a very different story.
Uh-oh. Where's the comment? Tree revenge. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
I knew you were going to say that, Sarah.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah. So, Nick, tonight we're focusing on Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And so, Freddy's back again targeting kids that have been institutionalized because no one believes them that they're being targeted by a psychopath with a gloved and razored hand.
Or more likely a dead psychopath, because he did once actually existed. So if you kind of look at it that way.
Yep. And so each
DJ's watching it right now.
Oh, he switched movies. Okay.
That was
nice.
quick.
Nice.
Oh
yeah. And so yeah, like I said, Nick, this film is starring Patricia Arquette playing Kristen, and she's the sister of David Arquette, who Wes Craven also worked with because he plays Dewey in the Scream franchise.
Yep. I know exactly who that is all too well.
Oh, yeah. And it's nice to see that they just wanted to keep this franchise going after the success of the first two films because, like I said, this franchise is what started New Line Cinema. You know, New Line Cinema became known as the house that Freddy built.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. And some of these people who worked on the Nightmare franchise actually worked on other huge hits from New Line as well. Like I researched, and there was a producer named Robert Shane who worked on every Nightmare on Elm Street film, including Freddy vs. Jason, New Nightmare, and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake in 2010. And the same guy was the producer for the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
That's quite a crew that, like with probably on what's the word I'm thinking of? Kind of like with unexpected futures. Like you never would expect those type of individuals would eventually work on much larger films.
Oh yeah. So now he's working with he's making a lot with residual checks off of two major franchises, Nightmare on Elm Street and Lord of the Rings.
Really quickly, I just want to show this comment that Sarah just said. There is a special relationship between psychic manifestations and the unconscious dream state.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I have that's like a whole different subject talk for me because of the psychic part, like going into your dream state. That's what I feel like I do to try to see things. I try to put myself in a very deep meditative level or state. Hi, Brad. So that way I can get a better, clearer picture of whatever it is I'm trying to connect with. So yeah, I agree with that relationship between them.
Oh, here. Did you haven't
been watching all week?
All week.
Watching it over and over again or something? I'm kind of curious now.
Well, every day.
It hasn't even been a full week yet.
Oh wait, I think he means he's been watching Freddy. So now he's watching Freddy and Jason, and he's watching Freddy 3.
Brad says I'm ready to make some pull apart.
Oh yeah. Actually,
well, I did make steak earlier. So
use mine.
Oh, nice.
Well, actually, Don, I was just gonna say it looks like you were ready to start like cutting hair, like almost like you were using them as scissors. Which, by the way, I should probably show you guys. I got a haircut on Saturday.
OMG. Let me see.
Yep. I know you can't see it too well with the background, but I got it.
I know why you did it, because Don's hair is cut, so you cut your hair.
No, it's not that. It's actually my parents really wanted me to
Don't think I'm gonna cut mine off.
It off, really, Brad.
Yeah. Oh, Jill, I don't know if I mentioned this before to anybody, but like, not only did I not used to have spiked hair, but I used to have facial hair. I used to have a soul patch during late high school years and the university.
Oh, I'm gonna have to see a picture of that.
God, I don't remember that. I don't, because I remember. I mean, I know we didn't hang out as much, during high school, but I don't remember you having that.
Having that soul patch, yeah. Yeah, my college girlfriend was in love with it.
Yeah, I was thinking of the guy that plays Angel.
Oh God, it's so fun. No, it's
Wait a minute. The shaved head craze is done.
It's not done.
Yeah, because Don, I don't know if you ever heard, but when Jeremy had to get all his hair cut, prior to his surgery, everybody was pressuring me that I do the same thing, that I shave my head too.
We started a trend. We really did. Like a trend. He set a trend, and everybody started shaving their heads.
He says it's not done until Nick does it.
Oh yeah. So let's jump. Nick, let's get back into this film. So like I said, this focuses on a bunch of teens in Weston Phil's psychiatric hospital, and all these teens are being targeted by Freddy. And let's go down the list of. Let's see. There's the mute kid Joey, who was played by Rodney Eastman, and this is what this along with the fourth film, when are some of the films that there are 3 films that I know him from. This one, the fourth film, and also he was in the 2010 remake of I Spit on Your Grave.
Oh God, no! Don't even bring that film up. Oh,
okay. I've seen all those.
I'm only mentioning this because that was one of the films that he's known for. He played let's see, what was his name? Andy. He played Andy. He was one of the brutalists, and he was the one that Jennifer had killed by melting his face off in a tub.
Mm-hmm.
That was in the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, or are you talking about Nightmare on Elm Street?
Remake of I Spit on Your Grave.
Jeez.
Yep, he in the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, he got his face melted off, and that was a pretty brutal thing to see, among other things in that film.
I'm surprised.
A lot of brutal kills on that.
I'm surprised you actually watched that film, Don.
Well, people suggested it, so I thought, okay, I'll see what this is about. Which, granted, it wasn't the most pleasant thing to see, but I'm just glad it was satisfying to see the girl getting her revenge.
I'm only just going to say this because I don't know, because I'm always worried that some people are going to want me to check it out. I'm just going to say, no, I'm not going to watch that kind of film.
That film
sucks. Even if you pressure me, that's not going to happen.
The I Spit on Your Grave ones, I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, I was able to endure it, but I thought it's similar to Avenged and some other ones.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, back into this. There's Ken Sagos plays Kincaid, who was the kid that was always temperamental, but ended up getting the power of super strength in the dream worlds. Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the ideas that I love them exploring in this film, is that the teens now have the ability to have these superpowers in the dream world. Kirsten can pull people in the real world into the dream world, and also has gymnastic skills. Joey has the ability to speak, super voice powers, because he was mute in reality. But let's see. And like I said, Kincaid has super strength, and let's see, Will, who was
Lizard.
The wizard, that nerdy kid who was playing that Dungeons and Dragons knockoff in reality. But he has wizard powers, and also the ability to walk, because in real life he was in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Taryn, the punk girl, has the ability to have a mohawk, be in leather, and have blades.
And be pretty.
Be careful when you bring up the mohawk, because Brad said this a few minutes ago when it was all this talk about my haircut. Here's what he said earlier: just shave the sides and rock a mohawk, Nick.
Hey, I got just the tool for that. Hey Nick, I got just the tool for that.
No, that's not going to happen. But you know what? I just want to point out, though. Oh wait. Okay, so the turret's a power
ranger. They just in their suits.
Well, you know what? With these kids that basically have these, abilities in the dream world, I mean, hence the name Dream Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. So, basically, in the dream world, it's morphin time. Yep.
But no,
you're mortal in the dream world and strong.
You're in the real world and strong in the dream world.
Yes. Yep.
More like a mullet, really? Okay, let's not get any ideas that I'm going to get a mohawk, because that is definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, I personally don't think a mohawk would look good on me. I think the spiked hair is good enough. But I do like how they explore this. I like how they explore this idea, and also exploring how the new crazy the crazy kills that Freddy kind of
does
in this. We were just talking earlier about Philip's death. How he just slices out his tendons and uses those as strings like a puppet, then has him fall off a tower. and then killing off Jennifer after she was watching a late night with Dick Cavett interviewing Zsa Zsa Gabor. You remember that, Nick?
Who was that again?
The TV.
The TV host.
Okay.
Yeah. Dick Cavett interviewing Zsa Zsa Gabor. Yeah, like Zsa Zsa Gabor is like.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was just gonna say I didn't know who that was, but who? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all right, but yeah, like everything like seemed normal, but it becomes apparent that Jennifer is now in the dream world when Dick Cavett turns into Freddy. Has the glove and is like about to slash at Zsa Zsa, and then the TV cuts out.
I can't remember. Did she actually have a kill scene, or did she just act like she screamed? Not at all, huh?
I'm wondering if I'm not sure if like she really was acting when she screamed, or she didn't read the script and the scream was for real. But either way, good result.
Mm-hmm. I liked it.
Then when Jennifer gets close to the TV to see what's wrong, the TV emerges, like arms come out, and Freddy, the head comes up and says, "This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time."
He morphed the TV into his face. I thought that was a cool scene.
That was great. I love those special effects in this film. That was good. And then he stayed. And what I'd like to know though, a thought just occurred to me. What if Philip and Jennifer hadn't been killed by Freddy? What would their powers be in the dream world?
It's beyond
That's what I'd like to know.
Well, Philip loved puppets. So has to do with maybe stage, like whatever. What do you call the person doing the marionette?
The puppeteer.
Yeah, you did.
Puppeteer? I don't know. That's a good question, though. I never thought about it.
Yeah, what would Jennifer's be? That's what I like to think.
And she wanted to make it in Hollywood, so.
Yeah, she wanted to be an actress.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Yeah, Jeremy, you kind of did break me down. What he did was he sent me this hilarious meme, which is regards to wrestling. It was actually pretty funny. I couldn't hold it in, but it was damn. I got to send that to Pickle Tom. In fact, he would enjoy this.
I like memes. People send me memes. People,
I'll send it to you.
Oh yeah. And Nick, the movie that we just saw in theaters, Megan, that's had a lot of popular memes going around from the very beginning when that trailer came out.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. And Nick, like I've been telling you, Nick, like now that we've seen the movie, we definitely got to do an episode on it soon because now it's being released. Yeah, now as of today, it's been released digitally, so now anybody can watch it from home.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy,
I was about to answer Brad's question. Yeah,
sorry.
And
yes, it is.
Pickle Tom would definitely love it since it's also kind of about pickles.
Yeah, and also probably one of the craziest dreams is like Kristen has that dream where like Freddy like emerges from the wall as a worm. Freddy can now like Freddy can now morph himself into things. First it's the worm, then the TV. They're getting super imaginative with the way Freddy is in the dream world. And then
I was watching a behind the scenes where Kristen is being eaten by that worm, and it's like it flings her up into the like up high to the sky, like, and I think her head hit the ceiling. So I was trying to see from behind the scenes footage versus the movie footage if it looked like she hit her head, because I'm thinking she's doing all these like stunts herself, and it throws her back down to the floor. So they must have made the ground soft enough, like a wrestling mat, for her to not hurt herself, because it's like flings her up and lands her down suddenly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there were mats there, because that's what I would do. I'm not going to risk an actor or an actress hurting themselves on set with the stunts. You can't be too careful.
Right.
Yep. And what was I going to say? Wait. Right, you had 24 hours.
Yeah, 22 hours before you have to go back into hiding, because Brad just said he was heading back to his corner.
He's in witness protection. He's not.
Don. In case you didn't know, he's in witness protection from Adrian, because he recorded Adrian saying that she agreed with him and that she was gonna hunt him down with everything. So yeah, he's still in witness protection.
Yeah. And Nick, one topic that we were covering earlier is do you drink coffee?
No, actually, I don't. I drink hot cocoa, but I don't. Honestly, I mean, I should probably just say it now. It's just, and I'm already thinking this because you're on, Joe. I'm thinking of Starbucks already. I've just never been a big fan of coffee. It's just, I've tried it, and I'm just not a big fan.
Maybe just haven't found the right one. But anyway. Because reason why I ask is if you don't like coffee, then you're probably definitely not going to like the idea of eating actual coffee beans and drink them down with Diet Coke, because that's what Kristen did in the beginning of this film.
It was like an instant coffee. She spoons it out of it's like a big, jar of it, and she spoons it, and then she downs some Coke.
Yeah, that's quite it just sounds like really unhealthy to be drinking Coke and mixing it with coffee. I mean, I don't even think that tastes good. That's quite an imaginary combination to use.
I'd imagine not. I imagine that would not be good for you in any way, shape, or form.
I would, and that's another reason why. And if someone ever said to me, "No, I'm not going to mix that up either," I may like Coke. I may not like coffee, but there's no way in hell that those are two things that shouldn't be combined.
Yeah. I mean, coffee is easier to make than ever now because, I mean, I got a Keurig right there in my kitchen. All I have to do is put in that pod, press a button, and I got coffee.
Well, why didn't she pull what they did in part 1 where she had a coffee maker underneath her bed? That was so funny.
I know. That's the thing. I'm wondering that.
That's just crazy.
Yes.
Oh, wait, let's see here. Jeremy said, I'm going through Rodney Eastman's filmography. He's been in some really obscure movies.
Yep. That's right.
I don't know have I ever seen any of them? I don't know if I have.
Yeah, but like I said, the ones that stand out for me are the Nightmare on Elm Street sequels and I Spit in Your Grave remake. Yeah. I mean, the idea of having his face dissolved in a tub is not something kind of thing you forget.
Yeah, that's why I haven't seen the film. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say I've seen the original one, which I regret to this day, but that's why I won't see the remake.
Well, the remake has a much more satisfying ending.
Yeah, but it's the same story, though. That's the problem. And it has the same opening results, and that's just I just don't really see. I'm just gonna say I just don't really see I Spit on Your Grave as a real horror film. I mean, it's no wonder why they're called rape and revenge films. I'm not a big fan of those type of movies.
I got you. Oh, here he that's right. He was in Shopping Mall. That was another 80. That's an 80s cult classic right there.
That's another slasher film, right?
No, the poster of it is like misleading. Shopping Mall makes you think like it's like someone with an armored like hand or something, but no, it's robots.
Robots?
Yeah,
really?
Yes, security robots that are on the fritz, going on a killing spree.
So I gotta ask then, what year did it come out? You know what year? I mean, I know it came out in the 80s, but
I didn't look into the year. I never actually seen the movie. I just know of it.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking is I wonder if this is supposed to be like some 86. Okay, I was gonna say sounds like it's some kind of ripoff of Terminator, because that was just like 2 years after Terminator came out, and you're still dealing with robots just killing everybody. Maybe not from the future, but still.
These robots don't look like Terminator to me. They look like I'm looking at pictures of them right now. Yeah, these things don't look human. They have like this one red eye, like this line there, and they don't look like anything like Terminators. But let's see.
Well,
Barbara Crampton. Wait, Barbara Crampton was in this?
Is it a Stuart Gordon film or?
No, let's see. Dick Miller. Wow.
Dick Miller.
Okay, so they got some familiar faces in this.
when you said about the red eyes, they may not look like the Terminator, but well, the Terminator did have red eyes too.
Well, not one that's like one line.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, let's see. Oh, Angus Scrim, the tall man, was in it.
Yeah, Angus Scrim. I've met him.
Oh yeah, but I think I just gave you. Oh here, he's saying I think I just gave you another movie to review on there. Yeah, I have to see it first, Jeremy. I'll have
guys,
to see it
very quick.
I will have to see it first, Jeremy.
Hang on, hold that thought. Denise, good to see us. First time I've seen her watch. I've seen either her or Ernie watching the show. Denise, if I may ask, how's Ernie doing? Because got a little worried there earlier, seeing the pictures of him.
What? What's wrong?
He was in the hospital. I don't know if it was was that earlier today or was that yesterday? I just saw the pictures a few hours early. So okay. He's his usual pain in the ass self.
Okay.
Did you give him his biscuits and gravy? Because I'm sure that's got to help him out as always. Oh, he had endoscopy. Is that how you say it?
Endoscopy. I think I just took my dad to his appointment this week. Had to pick him up, and when I have to pick him up, they put anesthesia on them. So then when you wake up or come to, it's like they're out of it. It's always so funny to me.
Yeah. I would never do a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but if I did, I would already be dead in my sleeve. Damn you, Freddy. Yeah, but one thing I wanted to mention, the opening scene where Kristen goes to sleep and she wakes up, and I just love that shot where she wakes up and her bed, it zooms out from her bed and it shows her right in front of 1428 Elm, and all those kids are jumping rope singing 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
And, the creepy kids.
Yeah, the creepy kids in the ballad.
Yes. And the little girl on the tricycle going into the house, like
I remember this.
I know.
Scene,
yeah. And then Kristen follows her down and like to the basement, and the furnace lights up, and she says, "Freddy's home."
So creepy. Like, how are they so creepy?
I know.
That's like the case with a lot of these movies. It's like every classic horror movie always has to have creepy kids in it. You always have to have a little kid sitting or standing there whispering or delivering this message that nobody else seems to know about.
No, but little kids are like that. They'll just like look at you dead in the face and just say like the statement, whatever they're going to say. And it's like, it feels like a threat. And then you're just like, what? Like, the things that come out of their mouth, they can be very creepy.
And yes, Jeremy, they are. Well, and I'm just going to say very quickly, like when I made my audiobook series, I actually wanted to get a few kids involved in this project because I thought, what better way to make these stories even sound more terrifying if we had kids getting involved. Unfortunately, the chances for that never went as planned, but I still am open to the idea, for any kids out there who want to participate in such horror projects like this, because it would give just a feeling of like a sense of threat, almost like you said, Jill.
Mm-hmm. My niece she's fabulous for something like that. She's been telling me her own horror stories since she was 5. She'd just come up to me and say, "Let me tell you something really scary." And then at the end, after she tells me, and I'm like, "What the heck?" And I go, "Where'd you hear this from?" She goes, "I made it up." And then she just runs off.
What?
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yes, they are, Denise.
Yes. But one thing Kristen did right there is soon as when she knew like Freddy was about to show up or something bad was happening, she was picking up the little girl and like running off with her, trying to get out of there. I gotta say that's probably actually what I would have done as well, because like if there was like a little kid, in there's immediate danger, I'm not just gonna leave him behind.
Don, I gotta bring this up, and this actually revolves around that scene. I think that was the same scene that was later parodied that episode of Rick and Morty when they went to the dream worlds. They try to like knock off the girl, basically. You kidding me? This again?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scary Terry.
Scary Terry, that's who it was.
Yes, I'm Scary Terry.
You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Yeah, and then Rick is like, it looks like a safe character, like a slasher from 80s horror movies with swords for fingers instead of knives.
He can travel through dreams.
Did you guys see that they announced that they let go of the creator of Rick and Morty, so they're gonna have to recast the character voices for Rick and Morty now?
No,
it was just announced like a couple hours ago.
Do they? Please tell me they have some good
No
reason
way.
for it.
I don't know what the reason is yet.
No.
I haven't looked into it, but just FYI, y'all, there might be some changes, and I don't know if everyone's gonna like it.
Man, let me look.
Imagine if Pickled Tom was on right now. I don't think he'd be very happy hearing that.
Oh, here. It says Adult Swim cuts ties with Justin Roiland following domestic abuse. Following domestic abuse charges.
Oh,
that's what it is. Okay.
Domestic abuse charges?
Yeah, they just let him go today, I guess.
Let's see. It says he was charged with felony domestic abuse in Orange County.
My dad was just watching the show upstairs a few minutes ago. That's just messed up.
Yeah, Jesus, man.
So you're saying, okay, so wait, hang on. Justin Roiland, he's the
creator
of Rick and Morty.
Creator and voice of Rick and Morty.
Voice of Rick and Morty. This is not good. I hate to say
it was breaking
this.
news. Breaking news 2 hours ago. So they think that they're going to have to, if they're going to continue the show, they're going to have to recast the voices. It's going to change it.
Yeah, that's not good because that's not going to meet with a lot of good positive feedback. I mean, now hearing that, I hate to say it, guys, it might be the beginning of the end for Rick and Morty.
Oh,
no, I don't think so, but it'll definitely change it a lot.
Well, either way, that's bad. I mean, I was not expecting to hear that.
I mean, they wanted the show to. They wanted the show to go on for like 10 seasons, you know, but it
was almost 10 years ago that the show started, right?
Yeah. And I just can't believe Justin Roiland of all people would do something like that.
Yeah, that is just nuts.
I don't think they're going to end the show. I mean, I think they're probably going to continue the shows because it's pretty popular, but they're just going to have to change the voices.
Yeah. Wow.
I got
that's kind of blown me away.
Same. So
I just got
sorry, we're all just like in a moment of silence.
I'm sorry. Like I'm just completely at a loss.
Yeah.
No, I thought more of an awkward silent Jill, but yeah, no, trust me, seriously, I'm kind of at a loss too. Denise just said narcissists are good at covering their tracks. Yep, that is unfortunately a reality.
Yeah, I've known quite a few narcissists. So yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah. So
can I mention it's more of the beginning parts, when you were talking about her running with the little girl in her arms,
right?
To escape, to get her thinking that she's in danger, and she runs into, I don't know what room it was, but there's like all these hanging bodies of all the people on ropes.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really creepy scene.
It is. I'm pretty sure those are like the victims of Freddy, like several that have off themselves already. I'm thinking, are these must have been the people that Freddy killed, like have been haunting in their dreams.
Previous victims,
yes, that's right.
This it kind of reminded me of, somehow like how some haunted house walkthroughs, have that element sometimes. I'm not saying that it probably inspired that, but it's something that I think you and I have seen in some haunted house walkthroughs during the Halloween season over the years.
Yes, I did promotional videos for a haunted house, so I know how that is. And yeah, like
I was in haunted houses. Like I was a girl that would like scream in a cage and try to ask you for help. And I was shocked. I mean, I thought my acting was good. And I thought a lot of people were like just passing me up or even really scared to even go near me. And I'm like, I am a person. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Jill, I'm surprised you never told me about that before.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did a lot of volunteer things in high school, and that's one of them amongst what was the singing during Christmas? The Christmas like
I know
when you sing the songs, when you go around singing the songs.
The carolers.
Caroling, yeah. So we had all these things that we would do. So on Halloween, of course, we need people to act in the haunted house part of it. Was at the fair, believe it or not.
Oh yeah.
And then we would, because it's always around that time, I guess. And so I had done it for a couple of years. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Funny. It's like you guys have... Sorry, Don, go ahead.
Yeah. When I did the promotional video for a haunted house, I believe 2 of them are still on my YouTube channel. But yeah, when I was doing them all, like I kept like filming people's reactions and going through that place like over and over again, giving different angles, different shots. And I decided to get B-roll footage at the end of one of the nights. I pretty much knew the whole thing right behind my back, and went to the point where I was just like one point I actually did a moonwalk down the hallway in like this hall of mirrors. And one of my friends saw that on security camera, and she's just like, "Oh, Don."
That's so cool. Yeah. We're gonna have to see that footage.
Yeah, we're gonna have to show that at some point because
I didn't record that part. I didn't record that part.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah, like I just kept going back and forth, just capturing footage, like this, and then out of nowhere, I like because I think it's because they were playing Michael Jackson's Thriller earlier, so I just did a moonwalk down the hallway when I was moving to the next room.
Oh, I can do the dance. I don't need the moonwalk. I can actually do the dance.
The Thriller dance?
The Thriller dance. Trust me, I practiced. I actually have, I'm just going to say this. I actually have a video of me when I was 17 where I actually did a video of myself dancing to it. And when you watch it, it looks like at first I'm just completely by myself doing it. But there was actually like several people behind the camera watch me do it. You don't hear them until the end, of course, but no, I do have. And when I look at it now, I mean, not only does it have that old texture to it, because this was like 2010, I kind of appear almost wavy almost. So it kind of has almost like a ghostly look to it. So yes, not a real haunted house, but I did do the dance.
Nice.
Love it.
It's funny how you guys both have been a haunted house, like worked at haunted houses, and I haven't, although I did work at Spirit Halloween for 3 years.
And to me, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, here, the walking kill. Yes, we were discussing that earlier. Philip, who was working with the puppeteers, and Freddie gave him like an ironic and creative death by using his what was it? The tendons, whatever that is. Like,
yeah, like those tentacles or arms or whatever the hell that he was using.
Yeah, the tendons.
It's like it pulled the tendons out and made it into string.
That's right.
Oh wait, okay, yeah, okay, I know exactly. Yeah, he pulled out like, yeah, I know. I think they were more like the nerves. I think more than anything.
Oh yeah,
because you could tell he's in pain.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, there were some creative kills in this. I want to say like probably the least creative kill in this whole film was probably when he kills off Will. Yeah, like when Will's trying to be the wizard, use the magic, saying, demon be gone. Then Freddy just grabs him and is just like, "Sorry, kid, I don't believe in fairy tales." Boom, like that.
Yeah.
That was
the least creative.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about it.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll be right back. I'll be back in just a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite kill is prime time. When Jennifer was killed off. Yeah, and that ended up becoming one of Freddy's most well-known catchphrases. I mean, that's like the one line that just keeps being referenced whenever people are thinking of Freddy Krueger.
Iconic quotes.
Mm-hmm. Oh man. Yeah, and a lot of people are saying Jason has the most boring iconic quote, and I'm like, but he doesn't say anything, and they're like, exactly.
He just stands there menacingly.
Yeah,
he is the expression.
Oh man, but Yeah, I also love the song that was made for this film. That Tom and Allie posted a video, like the music video for it earlier today. Doken's Dream Warriors.
Yeah, they did good because in the music video, I think I watched the music video today because I was on YouTube. Did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Music
I actually
video?
I have the song too.
Awesome. And I liked it too. I thought they did a really good job putting it together, being part of the soundtrack for the film. So I bet it has something to do with its popularity. Yeah, I like that part.
Oh yeah, great song. But yeah, I loved. I wanted to. Oh man, I really wish Nick was here to for us to talk about this because he would have wanted to hear about this. And
On the band, were you gonna talk on the band?
I was going to talk to Nick. And
Mhm.
Nick, he just left about the band. Yeah, like I wanted to.
I know
Yeah.
he's a big, huge metal fan.
Oh yeah.
So this is his area right here. Like I love metal, don't get me wrong, but I like all kinds of genres.
Let's see. The same guy who scored this film also scored Dark Water and Dominion. Oh yeah, Dominion. I believe that's one of the Exorcist movies. I think if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right.
Cabin Fever as Weck. What?
Cabin Fever as well.
As well. Oh,
Typo.
okay. Oh, here. Oh,
We
because
also
the
did
K and
Cabin
the L.
Fever.
Yeah, because the K and the L are right next to each other. That's why. Yeah, but yeah, Cabin Fever. That was a pretty disturbing film. But yeah, I've seen all of them, and I hated the third film. Even Sean Astin's performance wasn't enough to save it, and that remake was horrible. Like it was just a rehash of the original. Like nothing new, nothing imaginative. That's it. Yeah. It did start. What was his name? Who was that guy? His older sister is Alexandra Daddario. Yeah, I'm sure everybody's familiar with her.
Yes,
Yeah,
I love her.
Her brother. Yeah, her brother is in the remake of Cabin Fever. So, yeah, that's one of the main
I
reasons why I
liked her
saw
on
it.
the Texas Chainsaw. I thought she did good there too.
Oh yeah, she was one of the best things about that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of people consider Texas Chainsaw to be weak, but she was the best thing about that film. Her performance, just awesome.
Yeah. I watched that one because she was on it. Like I was like, I'm gonna watch this for sure.
What's this all about? Cabin Fever.
Yep.
You should have been here, man.
I had to run upstairs.
But anyway, yeah, Cabin Fever. Yeah, he was saying that the guy who did the score for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 also did the score for Dark Water and Dominion, and Cabin Fever.
I've heard of Dark Water before, but yeah, Cabin Fever. Oh my god, that's a messed up film. That really was kind of a film that really scared the hell out of me.
Oh yeah.
It's just like a little bit to the extreme. And he also did Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate
so,
one thing at a time here.
Let's talk about Dokken.
Yeah, Dokken. Oh. Yes, the band who performed Dream Warriors, the song, and also that music video. You know what I'm talking about, Nick?
I don't think so. Wait, tell me because I don't know.
You have to. No,
we have to tell you all about this. There was this group. To promote this movie, they had this song Dream Warriors performed by the metal band Dokken, and it's like this. Hang on. Hold on. 1 second. Yeah, the song is like this.
the theme song.
Yeah, it was an awesome song.
So then, let me ask them: was that made specifically for the film, or was that just a standalone?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. It was.
Yeah, they did a music video for it with Patricia Arquette and Robert Englund. Like Kristen and Freddie in it, and I especially love the bit where like Kristen, where the walls are like shattering, just like when the Freddie worm was going through there, but instead of a Freddie worm busting out of the wall, it's their lead guitarist playing the song, and she was like looking in amazement.
Yeah,
I'm actually just watching a quick sample of it right now.
I know. I was gonna say if we could show the video, that'd be cool, or even at like clips of it.
I wish we could. And,
yeah, I like that part where the guitarist jumps through the wall instead.
And they just
I'm trying to watch a damn sample of it, and the connections being a real problem here. So, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now that you guys say that, like, wow. Hang on, wait.
The whole film's got the rocker vibe to it, you know, with the song.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't seen this music video, Nick.
You gotta see it.
I'm just as surprised as you guys. Man, this video would be so much more entertaining if it wasn't slowing.
I mean, Freddy's in it. You know?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Is just wow.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'll definitely watch I'm definitely gonna watch it after the show. I would watch now, but unfortunately it's like 5 minutes. So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to wait till afterwards. That's awesome either way.
Oh yeah. And I love how Freddy is just like, who were those guys?
That's funny.
I don't want to give away to the ending too much. It is pretty ironic.
It sounds like Dokken was trying to steal Freddy's thunder.
Pretty much, you know, doing like just basically taking down Freddy.
They should have had Taryn in it because she looked like a punk rocker herself on her, you know, her dream self.
Well, hey, it was the 80s. A lot of people, a lot of teens back then dressed like that, you know, especially like if you've seen in The Return of the Living Dead. Yeah, that was a prime example of how a lot of what punk kids looked like back then.
Yeah.
Well, she had the switchblades going on and everything too, because that was her weapon choice.
Yep.
So.
Well, that's the thing. She's got 2 blades on each hand. Freddy has 4 on one hand.
Yeah, he seemed to get scared though for a minute. Like, oh, I'm gonna get stabbed by you.
Yeah, and the way he killed Taryn off with by turning his fingers into like hypodermic needles full of drugs because
that was so gross.
Because she had a history with drugs, so that's why she was killed off that way. Because Freddy knows like your past and like so
her weakness basically.
Pretty much,
manager was able
I didn't like how her arms. It showed her arms, and it had like those pot scars that were moving. Oh, I mean, what was that? Like that was so nasty.
Yeah, I still don't know exactly.
They were like acting like mouths opening up and basically wanting those drugs.
Yeah. Band's manager was able to get a copy of the script, the band reference from the script to write the song.
That makes sense.
DJ, only half the kids are killed in the movie and only 3 survive. That's what I do remember.
Yeah. And of course, when Joey is his spirit is basically taken by Freddy and he's, you know, what they consider in a coma, then Nancy figures out that the way to stop Freddy is to bury his remains, because after the parents had burned him to death, they didn't bury his bones. They just threw him. And the only person who knew where they were was Nancy's dad, the Lieutenant Donald Thompson, reprised, which John Saxon reprising his role in this. And it turns out the bones were just like thrown into a trunk of a car in a junkyard. So,
yeah. He died in the next movie, though.
Yeah, but I know the nun that talks to them, or talks to him to give him the ideas of how to defeat Freddy and where he came from or why. She says to bury him in hallowed ground. So that's the part that confused me, because he just did more of like a rites sacrament against the bones to defeat him, but they should have buried him in like a cemetery or something.
Or at least cremated, destroyed everything until he was nothing but dust.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have done. I would just like cremated the whole body. But it's probably easier said than done to melt bones. I mean, I've never tried doing that, but I imagine that's hard.
Well, I already promised myself after death I'd be cremated, so I'll be nothing but dust myself.
Yeah, I don't know what I would be.
That we can't conjure you back up. We can't take your bones and bring you somewhere and bring you.
There's a good likely chance I would probably come back. My actual physical body may be gone,
and your skeleton won't dance. Your skeleton won't dance around or anything.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's right.
Well, I'm just gonna say, Jill, we could talk about that later.
But hey, there are even some people who don't even get buried or cremated. Some people donate their bodies to science.
There's this new technique actually that they're trying to do now when it comes to burying the deceased, where it sounds really bizarre. They put you in this like the sack that's filled with soil, right? And then they bury it, and then as time goes on, a tree actually grows out of it. I'm not sure exactly how it works. I don't know if they actually mix like seeds or something like that in it, but they put you in this like dirt, like the sack full of dirt, and as time goes on, a tree grows out of it. It's like, I don't know if it's become official, but they're saying it's a new way of burying the deceased.
I've seen that, and I've seen that. I'm interested in it, but I'm afraid, like, to me, it's also, there's like a culture. I don't know what religion it is, but like, if you're caught as being a witch, then they put a tree, they bury your plot, your body, your gravesite or whatever. They make sure there's a tree on top of you to contain the witch. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'd have to research this more before I get buried under a tree.
Was it the nun's Freddy's mother? Yes, Jeremy. That was the twist, because when Neil was at Nancy's funeral, he came across the nun who he's been speaking to about Freddy. Mm-hmm. And the nun's grave had the name Amanda Kruger, Freddy Krueger's mother.
Yep.
Yeah, when she's explaining like how he became, like why he was even born.
Right.
Yep. The bastard son of 100 maniacs.
And really quickly, just so you guys know, it's actually called tree pod burial. That's what it is.
Yeah, I have seen that. I think it's a cool idea because, just to have more forest, more trees planted, it's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty impressive because you are basically, it's not only just a way of honoring, but I think in some way, you're growing trees as well to add, because when you think about it, we've been taking down a lot of trees. So it's like making up for it.
Just know that if you're a witch, even from the past, and the tree is planted above you, you will never come back again. You can't come back and do your thing.
Yep.
Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Oh, I lost my thought. Oh yeah, Nancy being killed off was in the movie. What she was the best thing about Dream Warriors. Yeah, she was one of the best things. Yes.
Yeah.
It was probably
her funeral. That was her funeral at the end.
Yeah, that was. And I would like to say this. I feel like, I don't know. I think at the same time this movie came out, Spaceballs was released, and the reason why I bring up Spaceballs is because they did something very, very similar to like when her dad appeared in the dream, and when it turned out to be Freddy. They did something very similar to Spaceballs when Lord Helmet was like trying to lure Princess Vespa to him, and it's like fooled you. So I was thinking of that line when Freddy when her dad just transforms into Freddy and stabs her. Fooled you.
Shouldn't she have known when she first said, like, he's gone? Hello, how many movies have you been in, sequels?
Yeah, like you're not,
he's not gone.
Like you shouldn't be totally convinced that all right, he's gone. But then again, when you think about like the reality of it, it most likely may have also just been the case that Heather, how do you say her last name?
Heather Langenkamp.
Heather Langenkamp. It was probably also her decision to officially have her character killed off and basically leave the series. So that's probably why they killed her off in the third movie.
Oh yeah, but Heather Langenkamp actually recently expressed that she wanted to reprise her role as Nancy and go against Freddy one last time. But
but that would ignore Dream Warriors.
Two things would need to happen. One, it would have to create a whole new timeline that overlooks all the sequels. So it's like Dream Warriors didn't happen. She wasn't killed off. And also the very slim chance that Robert Englund would reprise his role as Freddy. So that way, yeah, he would have to, because they can't replace him, because they tried that once before and that didn't turn. People didn't like that. And it also would feel weird seeing Heather Langenkamp going against someone who, a completely different person, playing Freddy Krueger. When everybody just pictures her with Robert Englund against each other.
So this basically would mean it would be almost the same way as like it was with Halloween, the Halloween franchise. Because when you think about it, I know this is considered like one of the weakest movies of the series, but like with Halloween Resurrection, Michael finally killed Laurie. I know it's a bad movie, but her character was killed, and then they did the same thing afterwards where they ignored all that, and she's still alive and well. I mean, are they basically going to try to do the same thing where she was originally killed, but now they're saying that she wasn't killed? It seems like they're kind of copying what Halloween did.
How would they be able to? That wouldn't make sense though, because they already had a funeral for her, so she was confirmed dead in the third film.
But if I was the story writer, I would make it so that it was a fake death, kind of like the witness protection, with the witness protection people. And so they had to fake the funeral, but she's really alive in another city or whatever, working in a dream institute so that she can really take down Freddy, knowing he's unkillable.
Jeremy makes a good point. Nancy can gain the same powers that Freddy. So, like, yeah, if they brought her back as basically a ghost, like Freddy in a way,
maybe
she'd be poltergeist.
Oh yeah. Regardless, though, it still wouldn't be the same without Robert Englund.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, but so that would be the biggest challenge as far as bringing her back. You would need to bring him back too.
The problem is that I just don't know if. It's hard for me to believe some of the things that Robert Englund says, because he always has been saying for the longest time that, like, for example, when he goes to conventions, he dresses up as the character and he says, this is the last official time I'm going to dress up as Freddy, and then I'm officially retiring. Guess what? A year or two later, he does it again. He actually did it one time over here in Chicago for Flashback Weekend. Don, I think you and I were originally supposed to go to that, and that was when he was meeting up and hanging out with Sven Gulli. So he always keeps claiming he's going to retire the character, but he always keeps bringing it back. So the question I guess I'm really trying to say is, what are the odds for him to, bring back the character for a new movie? I mean, I know he's older now, but still.
He'll be back.
Oh, here.
Oh, sorry.
If I ever had to play Ash Williams from Evil Dead, I would battle both Freddy and Jason to the finish. Like Ash fighting against Freddy and Jason, that would be challenging for Ash, because both Freddy and Jason are basically superhuman, but with the exception of Freddy, he's vulnerable when he's in the mortal world, when he's among us. But Jason, like, you would like it's like hard to stop him. Like, they haven't killed him, they just most of the time they just stop him. On Halloween, I watched the episode of Death Battle, did a reaction video to it, which got blocked. I'm upset about that. But where it was Jason Voorhees versus Michael Myers. Jason killed Michael. Took down Michael Myers. So if Michael couldn't take him down, it's like, who can kill him?
I still would have to say, though, for as far as Ash Williams, I mean, that will, in my opinion, that will always go to Bruce Campbell, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Bacon. What's Kevin Bacon got anything to do with this?
Maybe he's going to play the next Freddy. Is he casting for that?
I mean, I like Kevin Bacon, but him as Freddy,
I
don't know.
I can't see that. I could not see that ever.
I would give it a chance.
Well, don't forget, he was killed. Well, don't forget, he was killed. Like, an idea of like bringing Ash and Freddy and Jason. Let's be honest here. Kevin Bacon was killed by Jason's mom with a arrow going through his neck.
Yeah, he was caught off guard. That's what happens when you lay there. I guess that's the movie's message, saying that's what happens when you just lay there smoking pot without a care in the world. Because you just never know. you just never know if a psychotic killer is under your bed and wants to put an arrow right through your neck.
Well, it's not just the drugs; it has another message to it as well.
Yeah, sex. I know.
Yeah,
What if
Laurie
Ash?
Strode being killed off in Halloween Resurrection was nothing but a joke. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that. The second I saw that, I'm just like, oh my god, this movie is gonna suck. Yeah.
I was thinking, what if Ash's hand was like Freddy Krueger's hand, and then maybe he'd have a chance to on the battle between them all.
Ash wouldn't stand a chance. Yeah.
At least not against Jason, anyway.
No, he'd have to have like the Freddy hand, like the Phantom Freddy finger hand.
Yeah. Well, it was late 70s, early 80s. Teenagers were stupid then too. Hey,
well,
I mean, the way I see it, we're always gonna have stupid teenagers in horror movies. Always.
Don, let's agree though. You have to agree with one thing because we just went through this a few days ago when we saw Megan. Okay, yes. Teenagers back in the late 70s, early 80s were dumb, but I think they were still far more sophisticated than today because we just had to deal with a whole bunch of even crazier, stupid teenagers a few days ago when we saw Megan. I think even I told Don at one point, I said, man, when I was these kids' ages, we never were acting like this. And what I'm trying to say is when we saw Megan, there was like a whole bunch of like high school teenagers behind us. They were like mostly teenage girls. And oh my God, they wouldn't shut the hell up.
Yeah, they were just on their phones and giggling, on their phones and giggling and nonstop.
Yeah, it's like they thought this movie was hilarious. It was actually, I mean, yes, there were some humorous moments, but it was actually
they weren't giggling,
terrifying.
They weren't giggling at the movie though.
Oh well, yeah, it's true. They just wouldn't shut up. And at one point, Don, I don't know if you saw it. At one point, I saw one of the kids. I don't know if it was taking a picture or a flashlight. I see a light by the corner of the theater.
I saw that too. Yeah, if that guy's recording
maddening.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say if that kid's filming in there, that's federal offense right there.
I really wanted to get up and say so. I mean, I told Don this too. I'm surprised we did not hear one person in the theater go, shh. No one did anything.
I used to work in the theater for years, and we used to have to go in and do theater checks. So that was always fun because especially if we knew there was going to be a bunch of kids in there, like teenagers or rowdy people, then we would constantly go in there with a flashlight and just be like, go up and down the aisle. Like you're parenting, like the audience.
Supervising.
But, that way we can see, like, are you making too much noise? Especially if there's a noise, like a complaint, then we would definitely send people in there and try to pull out or at least warn the people like, okay, no cell phones, like that. It's a given. The rules are written on the screen, on the commercials before, the trailers before, and then they'd remind people like mute your phones and don't play with your phones, nothing turned on, things like that, like be respectful. Mm-hmm. But you'll have a bunch of people that just don't respect anything at all, for the other people.
Yeah, and they show still go on, Don. You go ahead and then I'll say.
I mean, not all teenagers are like that. Majority of the shows that I've been to, people have been silent, respectful, and all that. But every once in a while, you get those who just get rowdy, who just are just
looking for trouble, practically. And what I was going to say is, they still do it today in the theaters, like where they right before opening up for the film, they always say, don't text, don't talk, all that kind of stuff. And you could obviously tell though these kids are not going to. They believe that they do not have to be told what to do or be under anyone's control. So they decide that they want to start routing up and start causing problems for everyone else. And trust me, I really wanted to get up in the theater and say something because it was ruining the movie at times for us.
I was thinking that Scream parody where she's talking on her phone and everyone's like, shut up! And they're like throwing things on her because she's on the phone.
Scary movie.
Scary movie.
Oh, okay,
that's right. The Scream parody.
I don't know if I've seen that.
What?
Scary movie?
No, wait.
It's been almost 23 years now, man. What are you?
Don, hold on a second. You didn't let me finish.
What?
Calm down, Don. Calm down.
Me too, though.
No, what I was gonna say was I've seen parts of it. I just don't know if I've seen that part.
Oh my gosh, I've seen all the parts.
I got the movie here. I'm bringing it to your house.
Dad, I gotta ask. Do you feel a little bit better now that I said I've seen parts of it?
Yes.
Not really, because you haven't seen the whole thing. Okay,
I know.
I'm bringing it to you. I'm bringing it to you.
Well, Dawn knows what I'm talking about. It's like the movie scene where she's watching the movies with her friend, and she keeps answering her phone or talking on her phone, and everyone's pissed at her.
Oh yeah, like
they always get rowdy during the Star Wars and Harry Potter shows.
No, that actually didn't happen in my experiences seeing Star Wars or Harry Potter. No, that everybody was quiet and respectful there.
Don, I remember. I think we saw one of the Star Wars movies, and it was pretty quiet.
We did.
Yeah, we did. It was the second one. I think it was the second one we saw.
I loved our Star Wars releases. People would come in with all the costumes, like they were cosplay. But the only thing I didn't love was I had like showings until 3 a.m. I mean, I had midnight showings, 1 a.m. showings, 2, 3 a.m. And then I'd have to come right back to the theater like 4 hours later. I'd have like a 3-hour break or 4-hour break, and I'd have to come back again.
Wow, that's quite a break.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the other thing too is like when it comes to movies and stuff, and I just recently told Don this, and I think not that we made a mistake, but I think when we went to go see Megan, I think we kind of let our guard down in some way, because when it comes to movies in theaters, I mean, with R-rated movies, you don't have to worry about that kind of thing, because you got to be 17 or older to see an R-rated movie. You know, so no big deal, like what time you can have, you know, whenever you can see that movie. But when it comes to PG-13 movies, for me, I always try to see them later at night. Like I know it's somewhat a little bit late for Don, but we all, you know, like me and my other friend Tom McNicholas and some other folks, we always prefer checking out these like PG-13 horror movies at like the 10 or 11 o'clock showings, because then, especially the 11 o'clock showings, I mean, over here, curfew starts at 11. So once a movie actually is going to be showing on at 11 o'clock, we don't have to worry about dealing with those kids. So, you know, I told Don, saying, you know, next time we see another PG-13 horror movie, I know it's going to be late, but we're going to have to see it at a later time, so we don't have to be dealing with this issue again.
Right.
Because it was just, there had been like 20 kids, maybe more than that in that theater, Don.
But I blame it on the staff or the management, because like I said, I would go in there myself and check. Especially if it was like a rowdy looking, you know, fan base.
Raise suspicion.
Yeah.
And it was the first weekend. We would do the up to 3 a.m. shows, sometimes even 4 a.m. It just depended on the demand. So if we got demand, I'd set up the scheduling for the ticket to be purchased. You could purchase it ahead of time. But we still had to man the theater the entire time. So it's like we were pretty much running the whole time when the Star Wars came out, which is, you know, years ago now. But just anytime it was coming out, it was really big here. And a lot of people would cosplay and dress up as all of the Star Wars characters. It was so cool. I mean, I walked around just the lines outside, that we would form lines outside of the theater for them to wait, because the lobby's too small for everyone to wait inside. So I'd go around over there, and it was just like a big old party, because everyone's just in Star Wars costumes. It was really neat to see.
Yeah, I imagine. Here, Jason can act tough and unkillable all he wants. I would never go down without a fight.
Yeah, Ash doesn't usually go down without a fight, but Jason, like, he's like super tough to go down. But so Ash is gonna need all the luck of the world in order to stand a chance against Jason. Oh, here. Whenever I would go to the theater, I always got the first show of the day. Most people don't like morning early shows. I loved it. Might have been 10 people in the entire theater. I could sit anywhere I want and even raise the arms and lay across the skies.
That's what we had.
I wanted to say this. I was actually invited to an early screening once. It was years and years ago, back in 2008, for it was a first screening for Haunting in Connecticut, because I won a ticket for that when I participated in this contest that was on one of the conventions that we went to, Nick. So yeah, I'm one of the first people in the world I'm one of the first people in the world to see Haunting in Connecticut.
That's I remember that movie.
Yeah. And when I was there, security was like not playing around. If you made a noise, if you pulled out a phone, you're out. So we need to have security like that at every single movie screening.
I've already promised myself that if we went to go see another PG-13 horror movie like that, I definitely would say something immediately, because it's just like, that's the other thing too. I remember when we went to go see it, there was not one single employee that walked into the theater and just to check up on things. Nobody ever walked in. And in fact, I know that for a fact, because a few times I had one of those larger drinks, so I had to go use the restroom a few times. So I would get up and walk, and there was like, when I would get up and walk, back and forth, there wasn't even an employee at the doorway, standing nearby outside. So there was nobody.
I had to patrol mine really well. It was it's a 21 plex with IMAX, and I helped manage that for a few years. So it's it really just depends on the management, if they're going to do the extra work and just make sure that, all their customers are satisfied in that way, like they're not being interrupted while they're watching their movies. So if it's important to you, then you're going to go around checking everything, and the customers are going to know you by face and name, because you'll be like, look, don't give me trouble tonight. I'm watching all of you.
I'm just going to bring this up quickly, because now this was 10 years ago. There was actually another similar situation like that. Don, this was when I think you were still in college. So you weren't with us at that time. Well, I was talking to you, but you were in Kentucky. But we went to go see Insidious Chapter 2, me and two other friends of mine.
I remember when that came out.
I remember, this story, Don. I remember that was probably even worse. There had to have been like 50 of these kids, mostly middle schoolers in this case. And when we walked into the theater, there was the manager was out there and telling people, you got to keep quiet. If you don't, we'll ask you to leave. And I still remember this one crazy kid asked it from the audience saying, oh, are we allowed to scream or something? It was insane. And I honestly don't think we even made it through a half hour. It was so bad that we ended up walking out. The manager in this case, this was at a different theater, not the same one we were at. He was standing out front, and we told him, look, it's really noisy in there. People are texting. They just won't shut up. And the manager, of course, apologized, and they said that they'd refund us. So we thought, well, you know what? No, you guys don't have to do that. We'll just come back at a later time. And they said that was totally fine. We wouldn't have to pay for it. So we just went to the downtown area, grabbed something to eat. And even when we got back, they were still escorting kids out of the theater. I mean, I would not be the least surprised if half of the audience was now gone because of that. So we just sat, we waited for the next showing. And unfortunately, there were still more kids that went to go see it, but they weren't as destructive. I mean, there were still kids talking that still wouldn't shut up, but it was way better than what we had earlier, because earlier that evening, it was just a disaster.
Man.
So, and Don, that's something we got to remind ourselves, by the way. There is one other PG-13 horror movie that we will be seeing later this year. The new Ghostbusters movie.
Yes.
So I'm excited about it, but we definitely got to keep an eye on. We don't want to let our guard down, so we don't have that issue again.
Yep. Here, let's get back to the comments and to the movie. So I got two Fear Fans podcast ideas for TV shows: The Walking Dead and Ash vs. Evil Dead, and I would love to join you guys talking about these. Oh yes. So the way we want to do this, DJ Evan, if we're going to talk about TV shows, we got to cover them like season by season. I feel like that would be the most efficient way to do that. But we got to cover that. We got to cover more Stranger Things seasons. If someone would please watch the second season and third and fourth.
Don, it's
on my list to do. It's really there.
No, how far are you into Stranger Things?
Let's not talk about it. I love that show, though. Don't get me wrong.
Wait, you're talking about me, Nick? Because I'm all caught up.
I'm behind.
I don't have to worry.
That's the best answer I think I've ever heard from you, Jill.
Let's not talk about it. I'm ashamed.
Because if we do cover, we have to go continue. We have to continue on with season 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely definitely gonna catch up because we should talk about it.
We need
That
to,
actually
yes,
just got me
because
heated up.
yeah, because I had a few people asking me, when are you gonna cover season 2? When are you gonna cover season 2? It never ends.
That was our premiere cast. You know, you casted the first episode, and so we do need to do it this year.
We do.
So much on my plate right now. It's not even funny. I mean, I was gonna make the announcements of it right before we got off. So, oh, and Don, by the way, speaking of which, did Jeremy tell you that Greg's not doing a show tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so let's see. I have seen Haunting in Connecticut from 2009 during COVID-19. Oh, okay.
I like Haunting in
But,
Connecticut, but unfortunately, and might be something DJ may want to check out. I just want to point this out for him. That the story involving that is not fully true. It's been heavily altered. The real story behind the Haunting in Connecticut, it is definitely different.
Mhm.
I'll just throw one note of truth out for it, because I'm actually going to be doing a show on that case real soon. That house was never truly burned down to the ground. There was never a fire.
Yeah. So,
but was it a funeral home? Yes,
it was a funeral home. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, like jumping right back into Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Yeah, like there was like a crazy fight scene near the end where Freddy realized that that Donald Thompson and that Neil were going after his bones. They came across them in that junkyard, and so what Freddy did, he possessed like his bones like into a skeleton, and
Mhm.
then just like with the razors, and then just like started going after them, and to the point where he actually kills Donald like by throwing him up and impaling him on that back part of one of those classic cars. Like, you ever seen like how
Mhm.
some of those old cars have that, like a Chevy Bel Air was made like
Mhm.
that? Yeah, he was impaled on that, and so, oh man, finally Neil put his bones into the ground and then like told us holy water at them, and it
Mhm.
took an effect on Freddy's spirit in the dream world.
So this is my question: is why didn't they just do an exorcism since the beginning? We would have had Freddy dead the first movie.
Right.
Why didn't they just think of this? Well, they just thought of it now because the nun was telling him how to defeat him.
Oh yeah, and they didn't do that. The parents didn't do that in the beginning when they killed Freddy, because they probably never imagined a serial killer coming back as a vengeful spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So
no one believes the kids.
No,
it's always the same.
Dumb,
no one ever believes them.
That dumb cliche in horror movies. Yeah.
This was one of the foreign films. Like Don, I remember we talked about this. I think it was one of the Japanese horror films. Now, if this was a Japanese horror film, it would be a different story, because they would believe you. Because, like I've always said, when it comes to beliefs in certain spirits or entities in films, like throughout most of North America and Europe, it's like they always will deny that. No, that's not possible. But if you look at some of the European countries and some of the Asian countries, they're just like so much more open to it, saying, all right, we know what these kids are saying, what they're telling us is true. Only thing is, they just don't know exactly what they're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and like a Japanese culture, they're always kind of like concerning themselves with spirits and whatnot. But so I have a good idea. Like, I feel like they would have believed that Freddy Krueger like existed in as an undead, like entity, like because there are certain cultures there in Japan where they have this belief system about evil spirits. So yeah, but yeah, like man, like the way that Freddy like went down in this film was not the way I expected when I first saw this. Like them burying his bones, giving him what they considered a proper burial, being buried in a junkyard of all places.
An unmarked grave, in other words.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And what was creepy in the end though was when the paper mache house of the 1428 Elm Street, the light turned on inside, and I'm just like, How does that happen?
Jeremy says they should have crushed the bones into powder and light it on fire, like cremation once again.
Pretty much. I'm pretty sure they would have had a compactor inside that junkyard, so they could have compacted his bones and then set him ablaze. I mean,
or even throw them
possible.
in some kind of, or again, more on cremation, but throw them basically into some kind of incinerator. I mean, a junkyard, they usually would have a city garbage incinerator there.
They could, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so there could have been other ways to do this in a manner that may have put Freddy down for good. But then again, he always has a way of coming back. He always finds a way.
Jill, were you going to say something? Go ahead. Oh, wait a minute. Jill, we can't hear you. Yeah, I mean, we could. It doesn't say you're muted, but for some reason, though, we can't hear you. Nothing yet.
Nothing.
Here, Jill, here, hold on. I'm going to remove you and bring it back on. Hang on 1 second.
Okay.
Still no. Yeah, try on this case. Try to leave and come back in.
Yeah.
Okay. Should only be no more than 30 seconds. I don't know what happened to her mic. It didn't say that she was muted.
Yeah, that's weird.
StreamYard's a great program, but it sometimes does some weird things.
That it does.
But then again, I can't really say for sure if that's what caused the muteness in her mic.
Yeah. I don't know. Technical difficulties.
There's always technical issues.
Mm-hmm. So she should sign back in any second now. So yeah. And what is another thing that you like best about this movie, Nick?
Honestly, and this kind of goes once again with the skeleton. I like how they kind of made it actually animate. Oh, wait, here she comes. Oh, wait.
Can you hear me yet?
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Now we can hear you.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like the Verizon guy, we can hear you now.
Okay. So my question was, they found the bones, but what about the glove?
The razor glove? I don't know. Like as far as I remember, like the razor glove was still at 1428 Elm Street. Jeremy.
You know, like well, you know, in a spiritual kind of sense, I'm surprised the glove had not been, you know, maybe not with the skeleton, but found like in another location, because it would have been spiritually connected to Freddy.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't just be the skeleton itself. It became a part of Freddy. But there are those, however, at the same time, on another word of note, because again, I know this from certain things I know certain things when it comes to spirits and attachments. Sometimes spirits can take certain items, prized possessions of theirs, to the afterlife. So it is possible that, yeah,
Nick,
but he got his hands on the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, we all will be dead.
Very likely.
But no, what I was going to say was it is possible though that perhaps the reason why the actual glove itself is that maybe somehow Freddy managed to take the glove with him to the afterlife in some way. So that way people in the mortal world would never be able to not only get a hold of it, but more importantly, destroy it.
Yeah, but it's because Nancy's mom actually kept the glove in her furnace, like in the first film. So it stayed in that house until the second film. So I'm wondering, like, where did it go after that? But
Sarah makes a good point. Objects can hold energy like a battery.
Yep, in the paranormal. Yes,
I think that's part of like the house he said lit at the end, the little paper mache house that would be made. So there's a connection to that. That means it's just like letting us know he's really not gone. He's coming through now through this house that they created. That's the attachment now.
Yes. And I wanted to bring this up. They actually did make a video game of Nightmare on Elm Street released on the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. Yeah. I saw an episode of Angry. It was like the first season of Angry Video Game Nerd where he played Nightmare on Elm Street, and it looks ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, the game where it introduces like creatures that were not featured in the movies, you know, like dogs, spiders, and whatnot.
What?
Yes. And the objective is that you have to collect all of Freddy's bones and then have them buried, just like in the end of Nightmare on Elm Street 3, just like in this movie.
Oh,
And
God,
the dog
no.
and the bones, he pointed out that the bones all look like the cartoon dog bones.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I like how they. Oh yeah, and speaking of games, I like how they did the game sequences in Freddy's Dead. I do remember that. That was actually kind of funny.
Now I'm playing with power.
But you
And
know
of course-
what? Jill, you make a good point. Like, it seems like every time like they destroy something that's in connection with Freddy, it's like there's always somebody out there making something about Freddy. And as long as you make that type of whatever it is.
The Bye-Bye Man.
Oh God, no!
Don't say it.
That movie
Don't
up.
speak it.
Don't mention it. Don't mention that movie. Hate the Bye-Bye Man. Hate that movie.
Oh my God,
I know.
that was a terrible movie.
I know.
I can't believe that was already 6 years ago we saw that, Don.
I almost game streamed on your page by accident. Oh, and speaking of game streaming, I'm going to try to stream the new Dead Space remake when it comes out on. It comes out on Friday, so if not on Friday, over the weekend, I'm going to start streaming it through my PS5. Because this is the first time I've ever attempted this on my YouTube channel, so I'm hoping it goes well with my mic. Because I'm going to be using plugging a headset through my controller. Hopefully that works well. So I can't wait to try this out.
We've still been trying to figure out ways of how to stream our games onto hopefully, just like about 2 weeks ago, me, Brad, and Clarissa, we actually all game stream. Well, we didn't game stream together, but we played together. We did a game of Phasmophobia, although Clarissa was having problems with her connection at times, so it took a while for her to connect.
I see.
But we've been practicing already, trying to figure out how we could eventually game stream this, eventually onto the network. Donald and I have also been playing a few times. Don, you and I have played a few times in the past. So
yeah, Left 4 Dead games.
Yeah, so we gotta try to boost this. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, so we definitely got to boost up with the game stream so we can eventually start streaming on the network. Well, whenever Jeremy's ready with it. So
we should.
Left 4 Dead 2 and what else? Oh, that 7 Days to Die game.
Oh yeah.
There's plenty of other games out there that would be awesome to stream, and even the single player ones would be awesome to show.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Last of Us.
Last of Us. Yeah. One thing I did want to mention, that Nightmare on Elm Street game was made by the same company that made that terrible, god awful Friday the 13th game back in the NES.
And I'm ashamed to even say this, but unfortunately, I have that game, but I never play it.
Don't play it. Yeah, because I came across it on an arcade machine once where you can stream all kinds of games. That was back in like 2010 when I was visiting LA. And I was at this like antique like flea market store, came across an arcade machine, played Friday the 13th. I only played for like 10 minutes. And I'm just like, okay, this game sucks. I'm done with it.
Jeremy.
I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't freaking play this.
He said he's played that Friday game on NES. He could not get anywhere with it.
No, you can't. It's confusing as all hell. I feel like.
Yeah, I have it on that console that had like 100 arcade games or more than that. And unfortunately, if you remember, it broke. So I never got to have the chance of playing, but I could care less. But I got asked in regards to games. It's funny just thinking about it. What was that arcade game that we played that was so hard to get through that I was so determined of trying to be that you encounter that dancing little red devil dude? What was that game?
Okay. It's Ghosts and Goblins. It's like one of the most
Goblins.
It's one of the most famous games on the NES because of how hard it is. I mean, it's a great game. I mean, it's fun when you make progress with it.
Yeah, but you have to keep dealing with this devil dude that like refuses to die. And for some reason, when you're wells away from him, he does this little dancing this little dance that doesn't make any sense. I remember we were playing. Me and a few others we had over, and every time he kept doing that, we just kept bursting out laughing because it didn't make the least bit of sense. And I must have played it like 100 times trying to kill the damn thing.
He just keeps on dive bombing you. You have to like. But thankfully, this was on the Switch where you can actually rewind gameplay. Like if like you make a mistake, okay, I can go back and just play it like that instead of.
Jeremy said he loved Ghosts and Goblins.
Oh yeah, that game is hard, super hard.
It's hard as hell, but it's funny at the same time when the devil dude dances. The first level on a continuous loop, the level 2 didn't exist.
Yeah. So basically,
Jeremy.
Friday the 13th on NES. That game friggin' sucks.
I'd rather play Ghosts and Goblins than.
I was waiting for someone to mention what Jeremy is bringing up. The scene.
Oh.
He never got to have his dream.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That's what he gets.
That's what he gets for being a perv. And also
Yeah.
That's what you get.
And it's also pretty messed up. Like if that was for real, like a nurse like coming on to a kid who was Joey was definitely underage. I mean
It's just so messed up. That is just really messed up.
High roll.
And by the way, I gotta bring this up. Jeremy said he loved Ghosts and Goblins. Oh my god. Can you guys imagine if we did a game streaming of that game? I think that would be like a 10-hour show. I would try to get to one level.
Oh my god, I would be raging at that game. Like just like not. I mean, I'm not one of those guys who's gonna rage out at games because I've seen people do stupid things when they rage. You know, like break their controllers, break TVs. No, I don't do that. Like here's me when I'm raged. I'm just like, really. Like, see me. That's me being raged. Like,
I can already hear like
that's the worst.
I can just like okay, go ahead.
You can do a better rage than that.
I'm just like, really? See that's me at my worst when I rage. That's my worst. See, because I've seen compilations. I've reacted to compilations on my channel where people just rage and bust their TVs, and I've seen a guy throw a TV out a window at one point. So
what?
Yeah, there's no way I would ever do that, especially with this TV. This right here is smart TV. This was a gift when like a housewarming gift when I moved into this condo. So yeah, there's no way I'm doing anything to that. I'm not doing anything to that. I'm not doing anything to this iPad. I'm not doing anything to my PS5. No way.
I would be that guy that if I was playing a game like Ghosts and Goblins and I kept going through it, I think it would be a combination of rage and just laughing. Only like that just shows like my happy side, and then you see my bad side when the devil dude kills me. It's like you would just hear all this yelling and stuff going on, like just my absolute frustration. Because I remember you also said, Don, saying, well, if you want to give it a shot, but it's going to drive you crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like I've had to deal with somebody at college in my dorm, you know, like back at the university. Like he was like raging out like crazy when he was like playing I don't even know what game it was, but all I could hear is like him dropping F-bombs. He'd be like, damn it.
Yeah, see? I can see that happening with a game like Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah, he was doing that like crazy. Oh, here. I played Blair Witch game. Oh, I still gotta play Blair Witch. I'm probably gonna do a streaming video on that as well. So thank you for the idea, DJ Evan.
Do you have it on Steam or do you actually have?
I think it should be on the PS5. I wonder if it is available on the.
It is because I have it. Yeah. I have Blair Witch. I haven't played it yet, but I got it.
No. I'm not worried about buying it. I'm wondering if it's available to stream on this account that I've got on the PS5, this online network account. So
you might be able to. Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Oh,
I know. I saw that video, Jerry, and I could hear the frustration. I think that was the clock level, and he was like, there was like a part of the game where he was like, he has Mario, he's jumping around, he's trying to get where he's supposed to go, and all of a sudden he makes a mistake and he falls down into the abyss, and I could hear Jerry like, oh man.
Yeah. So, like, I think like one of the dumbest things about the Nightmare on Elm Street video game on the NES is where they just throw in all these different enemies like spiders and snakes and whatnot. And it's like having Freddy wasn't enough. Like having Freddy, you could have just had Freddy chase you or something. I mean,
yeah, or chase him or have him appear like the devil dude in Ghosts and Goblins, just just jumping down on you.
Oh god, one day I will slaughter all the devils in that game. I swear.
How do you know if it's more than one? It might be the same one.
There's all kinds of demons in there. That's the thing. The title is kind of misleading, though. It's not just ghosts and goblins; it's ghosts and goblins and many other different monsters and all kinds of hellish forces. Yeah. If I want to face hellish forces, I'll just play Doom.
Yeah, that's a tough game though. At the same
Doom,
time,
but Doom is great. I love Doom.
It is. That's an awesome man. It's long as hell,
especially Doom Eternal. Because I know that a lot of parents out there are complaining, saying video games are getting more and more violent. But after playing Doom Eternal, I'm convinced that it's at its peak now because I don't think it's even possible for a video game to get any more violent than Doom Eternal, to the point where you're actually literally ripping enemies apart, blowing them to pieces with a shotgun, blowing them up with rockets. Like the gore in there is insane.
Well, it's this. Oh, come on now. It's Chance with an old. Oh my god. He's reverting that scene again from Nightmare on Elm Street.
That Joey and the nurse scene.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like a minor. Damn. I mean, yes, technically in reality he was an adult actor, but still, that's just messed up.
The idea of it is messed up. For adults to be targeting children like that, Jesus.
I mean, oh my god.
I don't care if it is a woman targeting him. It's still messed up.
Imagine if it was made today. Like if that movie was made today, and if even if it was R-rated, it would still drive people crazy.
It would. Man. But man, this is
another.
I know, but of course, Freddy has another one-liner when he reveals himself. Uses tongues to put him on to get him on that bed and saying, "What's wrong, Joey? Feeling tongue-tied?"
I don't like the tongues. What's up with the tongues in all these movies?
I know, it's creepy. Like Freddy has a real tongue fetish. He has like the tongue.
A tongue fetish.
He has a tongue fetish. He has the big tongue emerge from his mouth in that scene in Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah.
And now the tongue coming out of the phone when Nancy's on the phone in the first
movie.
Yeah.
He really has that tongue. He likes doing a lot of things with his tongue.
Is that in Scream or
that sounded so wrong? The way you just said it, Nick, that sounded so wrong.
I know. I just had this, and that just sounded so bad. What I just said.
But is there a tongue? Is there a tongue scene in the parody movies, like a Scary Movie? Is there a tongue scene?
I think so. In probably one scene.
Yeah,
I think there is.
Yeah, where they're licking something.
Yep. Oh, here.
So gross.
That reminds me, we got to do a podcast on the Blair. Oh,
yes. Oh yeah.
I'm thinking of that. And speaking of which,
yeah, DJ
just got my copy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was time I got that on Blu-ray. So.
Oh my God, Jeremy.
More than one.
More than just a tongue in Scary Movie.
Yes, there's
a lot of tongues.
There's a lot of everything in that.
You know what? I'm just gonna. What I was actually gonna say is this has become. I mean, it seems like Freddy and Scary Movie. I mean, it's just like with all this stuff involving the tongue. I mean, that's quite a tongue twister.
Wow. Oh man.
Oh my God.
My God, man. But yeah,
say that 5 times.
Yeah, so
well, on that scene where he's tied to the bed with the tongues, he drops into that hellhole. Right?
He doesn't drop into it. It just shows him hovering over it. It doesn't show him dropping in. But it does basically explain that Joey's soul has been kidnapped by Freddy. And then all the Dream Warriors have to go in and save him. And that's when Joey discovers his dream power to scream so powerful it disorients Freddy. And it's this movie is just something else. I mean, when I saw that scene, I'm like, wow, this movie never ceases to fascinate me. Oh, here. I played the original Doomgay. Yep, so did I.
Yeah,
one from 1993. That one is the granddaddy of first-person shooters.
Oh, I thought he was referring to the 2004 2004, 2006.
2016. That was the reboot.
No, I was thinking of the one like Doom 3.
Doom 3.
I kept thinking that was the original Doom. I mean, I know there was one before that. I thought he was talking about
there were two before that. Well, but also there was Doom 64, but yeah, that's another story. That's technically like a remake made for the 64.
Is it good or is it pretty bad?
It's all right. Yeah, I mean, my cousin had it. That's the first Doom game I've seen because my cousin Donnie had it. Yeah, I have a cousin who's also named Don, and I have an uncle named Don and a grandpa named Don.
And we've had a guest here and also named Don. A lot of Dons out there.
Yes, there are. Donald Trump. Yeah. That's right, Donald J. Trump. I was the president. You may have heard of me. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be president again. I'll be back in 2024 with a vengeance.
Thing about the Nightmare movies, if it sounds too outrageous for any conventional movie, would make sense or flat out stupid, put in a new Nightmare movie, it'll make perfect sense.
Yeah. And it's like in the Nightmare dream sequences, I just like how you could just be the most imaginative with the Nightmare films, because in the dream sequences you can get away with literally anything, any nonsensical thing.
Yeah,
pretty much. So yeah, I mentioned the creators were really having fun with it as the series went on.
I bet they were. I mean, it just looks like it's that type of. It was another one of those series that they were just having. It looked like they were. I mean, these creators were just having a hell of a time making these kill scenes and all these other things going on. I mean, if there's like for a whole franchise like that, they were obviously having fun with it.
Oh yeah, and the fact that this was all being done during the slasher craze of the 80s, you could throw all kinds of slasher films and people were paying money to see it, so they had to keep making sequels as much as they could. Oh yeah. So I think right here is where we're going to end the podcast. Yeah, this has been a fun one to cover. I really enjoyed this.
Mm-hmm.
This was definitely a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So
we made some messed up jokes.
Yeah. Hey, there were messed up jokes in this. Yes, definitely. Good God. But yeah, so next week I guess we're going to cover Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, and I guess we'll keep on covering these. We will cover Megan event soon. So yeah, and yeah, Jill, just see it whenever you get the chance. I'm not going to pressure you.
Yep.
And
what?
No, excuse me. Sorry.
What'd you say, Jill?
Well, I was just going to give the announcements for what's going to be happening during the later part of this week.
Okay.
So I'm hoping, I've already started on it. I don't have much put in, unfortunately, because again, I've been so committed to finish. Sorry, yeah, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I'm so committed to finishing this audiobook series that I did start putting the slideshow together for the next episode of Nick Files, in which I'm hoping if I have just enough, maybe not the whole thing, but have just enough to put have a show for tomorrow on Nick Files. So I know I made the promise that I was going to bring it back. I'm still clinging on to that. What I'm gonna do later tonight is I'm gonna go through one more test reading on one of the stories that I recorded, and as soon as that's all taken care of, once I get to the halfway point, I'll immediately start working on the slideshow. So fingers crossed, very good likely chance by now that I will have Nick Files back on by tomorrow. Like I said, we'll be focusing on the Enfield haunting. And then also tomorrow night, in fact, actually the rest of the show, Things Crew doesn't even know about this yet. I am also going to be on another show tomorrow night at around, I think, 7 o'clock on the show Paranormal Experience with Kat Hobson from Birmingham, Alabama. It's a show that I was on previously, but that was almost 3 years ago. So I was definitely due for a visit. So I'm excited to be back on. It's also one of the few, because everybody does these podcast shows on video nowadays. It's one of the few paranormal radio shows that's still pretty much in existence. So it will definitely be great to be back on Kat's show and chatting with her again. you guys want to tune in, obviously I'll send the link so you guys can listen to it. And there is a chat room that if you guys have questions or anything that you want to talk about while I'm on the show, I'll send the link to you guys. So that's what's going to be going on for tomorrow. Then for Thursday, for To the Grave and Back with Lois and me and Rosie, we have, geez, I don't even remember. That's crazy. I don't even remember who we're talking about. It will come back eventually. I just can't think of it right now. And then for Supernatural Talk, we're supposed to have Joe on. We had him on last week, but we're going to have him on as an actual appearance. I can't remember his last name, but Joe. We're supposed to have him. He runs a podcast too, so we're going to be interviewing him. And then the Frighteners for Friday. I don't even know what I really got to start writing down notes. I don't even know what we're talking about on the Frighteners, but it should be a fun show too. So that's all we got. That's all I got going on. Like I said, as far as anything else knows, excuse me, it was called, don't know his last name either. I just know, from the Mark Joe Show. That's what it was. Yeah. And then, like I said before, I've said this previously, I've been working around the clock right now to get the next audio series out, which is for the book At the Cemetery Gates, year 1. I've already, like I said, I already got to the halfway point. I'm just going through test readings right now to make sure everything sounds correct before converting them. I just had story number 3, the one that, it took me a few minutes to come on. I just had it converted. So as soon as I get off here, I'll be working on story number 4. I'm hoping to get through these last 4 stories I should refrain for what I said. I'm hoping to get through these last 4 stories right before I get to the slideshow. And then once after that occurs, I should be able to get to the slideshow and should have a show ready for Nick Viles tomorrow. So a lot on my plate, a lot of work, but I'm getting through it as fast as I possibly can. So that's all I basically have for this week.
That's all.
So, for now, that is. I mean, there will be more announcements in regards to the audio series, but I'm definitely working around the clock to getting this done because I have another one. I have 2 more other audiobook projects I would like to work on, and that's going to be for Nightmare Soup 3 and Society, and I'd like to get you guys involved. You guys involved, as well as some of the other show hosts involved once again, like we did with the first one. So, yeah, now that's definitely it, Jill. That makes you satisfied.
Yeah. All right. So, here, DJ MNC said, "Dream Warriors was a ride from start to finish." Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Truly was an amazing sequel. But this I believe is probably the peak of the series as far as sequels, because unfortunately, as far as story quality, it was all downhill from here.
Yeah, it was.
Oh yes.
Oh, and he also just wrote this.
And it's so much fun talking about the movie, and I'll see you guys next week talking about the Dream Master. I got to go. See you guys later, assuming we stay alive.
Have a great night, DJ.
I'll see you in your nightmares.
And just remember, too, you can run, but you can't hide, bitch, from Scary Terry.
Scary Terry's after you, too, so watch your back.
I had to bring him up.
Yeah.
I just had to when I saw that. And when you said that, then Scary Terry needs one more saying out of this.
Oh, man. All right, so that'll be it for tonight's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And Nick and Jill, always a pleasure having you and talking about these movies with you guys. And so be sure to tune in next week. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Be safe out there.
Everyone.